Chances are, if you've Googled your astrology placements, you've picked up some major astrology misinformation on the way. But here's how to actually find good astrology information for free. And definitely what not to do. First, do not Google. You're mostly going to find articles from people who might or might not even be astrologers. Just because something is on the first page of Google doesn't mean it's good or valid information. They might also be practicing a form of astrology that you don't practice, and they're not even putting that in their information. The amount of times I have to correct something in my comments and someone says, well, Google says otherwise, and then their source is just some random article. Here is weird information I found on my Venus placement alone on the first page of Google, very high up. In my practice, this is not the case. You don't really use Venus to necessarily say something about someone's personality, but rather about the love or the lover that they might attract in their life. So if I were Googling this trying to get into Hellenistic astrology, it would be giving me more modern astrology. I mean, they even call themselves an intuitive astrologer, which tends to mean they haven't actually studied. 2, don't use AI. I don't think I should have to explain this one any further. Don't use it. It's full of misinformation, and it's shitty to use. 3, unless you have information on the astrologer and how they practice, just be aware of astrology books. Make sure they have good sources and make sure they're practicing a type of astrology that you wish to practice. But here's what you want to do. Here are the green flags to keep an eye out for. First, you need to figure out what your astrology practice looks like. Do you want to practice modern astrology? Do you want to practice Hellenistic astrology? Do you want to study Vedic astrology? The place you get the information and the information that you keep an eye out for is going to be different within each of those practices. So when you're looking for information, look for people who state what their practice is and make sure it lines up with your practice. I would never take information from an intuitive astrologer and apply it to my practice because we're practicing 2 different forms of astrology. In the above examples, it showed some modern and intuitive takes that don't resonate with me, so they don't fit in my practice, so I throw them right away. Number 2, find people who fit your practice and follow their socials, sign up for their lectures, read their books. Not only is this a great way to support small creators like myself, but it's a way to make sure you're getting information that's actually going to match you. And there are so many traditions of astrology, ones that I haven't even named today, so there's no harm if you want to practice a tradition that isn't mine. Just make sure where you're going to cites their sources when asked, and that they fit your practice. Next, find books that cite their sources and have primary sources. Across the Heavenly Sphere, Demetra George's work, Chris Baranen's work. These are all modern books technically, but they sort ancient sources, so you know it's not totally opinion-based. Read what they say about the signs, but then come up with your own interpretations. And lastly, if you need more help, book a reading with me. I'm always happy to share sources in reading, happy to teach you about astrology, and I found that my readings are quite accurate. If you want to check them out on my page, I have some reviews.